this is Jersey. You're watching The Garden State.
You're listening to The Garden State, the only New Jersey podcast that gives you all the news you need to hear this week. My name is Josh Sobo.
My name is Josh Chomik.
And back, like always, behind the camera,
Jimmy Parks.
Jimmy Parks.
Jimmy, I can hear you.
Hey.
Sometimes you whisper, sometimes you yell.
Today I'm in a yelling mood.
Uncaged animal. Jimmy Parks.
Well, it's good to be back, guys, on the podcast. Thank you to those of you who tune in every week to listen to the Garden State podcast. We are, like I said, your number one source. I didn't say this, but it says it somewhere. Your number one source for all your New Jersey news. We try to give you everything you need to hear this week and then a little bit more, just a little bit more. Would that be a fair assessment, would you guys say?
I think so.
I think we're trying our best, and we're killing it, so.
Whoa. I thought you were being humble there for a second, but you just...
I think New Jersey is an amazing place. I'm so honored to be living here with you guys and everyone else who's listening from Jersey. I think it's just an amazing place, and I'm honored to be sharing the news with you guys to everyone else. So I think it's so cool.
Wow. Well, that's a great thing to say to start off this podcast. So thank you to those of you that are tuning in week after week. We love you guys. And to those of you who are listening for the first time today, hey, give us a shot. Maybe you'll enjoy the podcast. Maybe you'll hate us. I don't know. Only time will tell. So before we get into the news, every week we do the same thing. We like to just talk about life a little bit. Boys, how was your weekend? How was your Labor Day weekend?
I honestly had one of the best Labor Day weekends I've had in a while.
In your life?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Because I think this is like one of the first Labor Day weekends where I truly realized, like, hey, I'm not going back to school in like a few days. And like...
Jimmy, you're like 28.
I'm 27.
How is it taking you this long for that to set in?
I don't know. I just like... It's really funny. A few years ago at work, like someone was talking to me. And I was like, oh, what do you do in the summer? Or like, what do you do in the winter? And they're like, we do this because it was like the winter time. And I was like, oh, I thought I was still on like summer break.
Wow.
But it was the winter.
No breaks anymore.
Did you guys do anything interesting this weekend?
Cho and I went to the mall.
We finally went to the American Dream Mall, like we talked about in last week's episode. We went on Sunday to go see Mr. Beast. I went with Jimmy Parks.
Very nice.
Investigated. If you guys, if you're on TikTok or Instagram and you follow us, you saw the video that we filmed. It was complete mayhem. It was wild. There was probably like 20,000 people there. Some people said there was more.
Sobes, I'm never going back again.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
Jimmy, I'm kind of like mixed. Like, it's so weird to judge the mall because we went on a day where there was 20,000 plus kids going crazy for Mr. Beast. Yep. So I have to give it another assessment on a normal day. Mm-hmm. But everyone on our TikTok and Instagram was saying this is the most people the mall has ever seen, saying how Mr. Beast saved the American Dream Mall. Lots of different funny little comments like that. But it's weird because there's still so many stores that haven't been opened.
Like, I think that's what really did it for me. There was so much that was closed off. They boarded up and like it was weird.
You know, there's a lot of comments on our video. It was pretty divided. There's the younger generation that knows Mr. Beast, and the older generation has no idea who he is.
Yep.
So for a second, I'm going to fill in the audience on who Mr. Beast is and why it's kind of interesting that he's doing what he's doing in the Garden State Plaza Mall. So for those listening, Mr. Beast was a YouTuber. I mean, he still is a YouTuber. And he got big from doing like these challenges where he might do like, hey, 10 people put your hand on a car and the last person to take their hand off gets the car. But it's escalated into like Ferraris, and he'll give away $1 million in one video and like crazy challenges. And that evolved into Beast Burgers, which is in the middle of the pandemic, he made a burger basically, and it was only available on delivery apps. Correct, Chomik?
Yeah.
So like what? DoorDash?
I guess so, yeah.
Uber Eats? Mm-hmm. But the way the business model worked, this is super clever, was he told restaurants all across America, hey, you can sell my Beast Burger. So like, as long as your kitchen can make it, and here's the recipe, and here's like the packaging and everything, we'll split the profit. So there was never like a location, like an actual physical location. It was just ghost kitchens making them. And this is the first physical location for
Well, there
Beast
were
Burger.
physical spots. This is their own restaurant, though. Like, you can go to that cafe in Fanwood, for example, and they sell it there. So, like, you don't have to order it from an app. It started as that, but now you could actually go to restaurants and order it there. But this is their own official first restaurant.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So this, what did it look like? Did you guys see the inside of the restaurant?
No, we couldn't even get close to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
When
there were
we
so many
got
people.
there-
Yeah,
When we got there, we couldn't even figure out where the end of the line was. There were lines everywhere, and none of them seemed to connect.
no, it was like I said, mayhem, craziness. We saw Mr. Beast from afar. Like you could tell when he popped his head out because you just see hundreds of kids running through like the corridors, screaming with their phones out. It was hilarious. We filmed it all. It was a fun time. Like we were only there for 2 hours. We were in and out, walked the mall, got to see what it looked like for a bit. So yeah, I had a good time.
But you know what's funny? We've been to YouTube events before, and it's really weird to be like on the other side of it, right? Like you're seeing all these people running and screaming, and it's like, well, we've been there before.
He's a celebrity. It's crazy.
What I don't get is I would never wait in line, like a line of 10,000 people for anything.
Well, especially a burger.
Well, yeah, I mean anything. Like
Well,
it could be a YouTuber.
They want to meet him.
Yeah, they want to meet him. It wasn't about the burger. I mean, like I wouldn't wait in line for 10,000 people for any. I can't think of anything in life that I'd be like, yeah, I'll wait in a line of 10,000 people with my kid. I would just tell my kid, you're not meeting him.
Well, did you?
Is that messed up, or does that make
No,
because
it
it
makes
just seems
sense.
ridiculous?
No. Well, some people who were smart, they got there the night before around 5 o'clock to line up. So I guess like they camped out overnight. So then they were out by like opening at 11.
Is that really smart though?
Well, one of the people that commented on one of our videos said they got there the night before and they got like number 800. Like that's ridiculous still.
Absolutely. Why? Well, Josh, have you ever done those? You did those Chick-fil-A openings with us, right?
Yeah, but I was in college, so like,
See, well, would you like say if you were in college and this happened, would you have gone if we all went or no?
probably not. Unless it was someone I really cared about. So to fill the listeners in on what we're saying is when we were in college, Chick-fil-A started to spread into New Jersey and they would do grand openings. And if you were first 100 in line, you get a year of free Chick-fil-A. So we would, like a caravan, move from Chick-fil-A to Chick-fil-A and just camp overnight. The one I slept at was Garden State Plaza Mall. In the food court, on the floor of the food court, I slept. Barely slept. But I got 52 free number ones. And it was the year of my life. I was just eating nonstop Chick-fil-A.
But you know what? I think that's worth it. That's a year of free food.
Yeah.
It's
It's
Mr.
different.
Beast Burger, you're getting one burger.
So if you do the math, I guess the number one at Chick-fil-A is like what, $10? Now it's $10, maybe like $8 then.
Yeah.
Times 52. So that, which is what it was. You got 52 free number ones. So that's 400 and I don't know, $420.
It's a great.
416, so yeah, basically.
And look,
So-
we were in college and we went with all our like close friends. We brought board games. I think we brought movies one time. We watched from our laptops in the parking lot. It was just a blast. I think I did like 6 or 7.
Honestly,
Really?
doing anything with
Yeah.
a group of people is fun, no
Yeah.
matter what it is. If you have the right group of people, you could do anything.
And it was
So-
just so ridiculous. And so many people were like, what are you guys doing? We're like, we're camping at Chick-fil-A. What are you doing? And we're getting free meals. And it was always fun going to Chick-fil-A those years because if my friends didn't have free Chick-fil-A cards, I'd be like, hey, Chick-fil-A on me. And just give them a free meal.
Well, yeah. So I'm glad you guys went to see Mr. Beast, and I was a little disappointed I couldn't go. But after hearing your guys' response to all of it, I'm kind of glad I didn't go because it just sounded like kind of a nightmare. Not gonna lie.
Let me tell you about the other good part of my weekend, though. I also had a fire at Island Beach State Park.
Oh, yeah.
nice.
It was
You ended
nice.
up going.
It was beautiful. I went for the evening, had a nice little campfire on the beach with a few of my friends. It was
Nice.
awesome.
Huh. Well, I did not go nearly as much this summer as I wanted to Island Beach State Park.
Dude, the summer's not over. It's
And-
local summer now.
True. So, all right. Well, let's get into the news this week. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Chomik, about
Yeah.
your weekend?
Well, I just wanted to thank everyone for buying merch.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a merch drop, and I thought it went pretty well, right?
Yeah, we dropped our merch on Friday when we released the pod. And guys, you bought the logo tees, the black and green ones, sold out within an hour, like less than an hour, which Josh and I were not prepared for. We were very excited when we saw the orders. So thank you guys so much for the support. We eventually ended up selling out of the Garden State University t-shirts. And right now, currently in our store, we still have these Diner Club t-shirts. And
I don't know.
that's...
I don't know if people understood the diner club thing.
You want to explain the backstory?
Well, it was just like we're starting a diner club. Like we go to all the diners in the state. If you want to be part of the club, just buy a shirt.
Yeah. It's super simple.
I thought this shirt would sell more than the other ones.
When you made it and showed me, I was like, Diner Club, sign me up. I want to be part of the Diner Club.
So I thought it'd be a good idea, but I guess the listeners at home just weren't impressed with the design, which is,
we sold a lot.
we did sell a lot.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a sellout, though. I was like,
It's coming. But like a lot of people were asking about the shirts that were sold out. They're saying, oh, like I didn't get to the website in time. Like I want that shirt. You guys are ever going to come out with more? So we are going to be working on a restock ASAP.
with more items than the ones we sold this time.
Yes.
So within the next probably 2 weeks or so, we should be having some stuff come out. But thank you to everybody that ordered stuff and supported us. It's very exciting to see, and more stuff is on the horizon.
So awesome. Thank you guys very, very much.
All right, with that, let's get into the news, boys.
Let's do it.
Shall we?
Great week. Great lineup.
Yeah, this is a good lineup of stories. New Jersey law enforcement is warning parents of drugs that look like candy.
They're really, these like, what do you call them? Drug lords? Drug kingpins?
Well, they're blaming the cartels on this one.
They're getting a little crafty for the children.
Yeah, and this
it's messed up.
It's a good story for us to discuss. In September going into October, Halloween is coming up.
True.
Kids go around and take candy from strangers.
Yep.
Which is, can we just pause for a second? How did that ever become a thing?
It's still a thing.
Isn't that like the main warning? Like when you're a kid, hey, don't take things from strangers, especially candy.
Especially candy.
Like that just seems like a bad, but you know what? For whatever reason, it's blasted. And like maybe we shouldn't talk about it because it's such a pure thing that maybe it could turn bad.
Well, that's why they do trunk or treats now where like kids don't walk around and like they just cars get set up. Parents drive to a parking lot, open their trunks, which I think is like, I'm not the biggest fan of it because I'm like, that's corny. Back in the day, I used to walk around my neighborhood with my parents.
I think trunk or treats killed Halloween, to be honest with you.
Well, I'll be honest. I think that it's way more boring than the excitement of like meeting up with your friends and walking around the neighborhood. And like, I don't want to live in America where kids can't walk around and collect candy. Like,
Yeah,
I think that's very pure in
like
a weird
it
way.
should be normal that people don't try to drug children.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Great point. So this says, with New Jersey about to head back into school, the Drug Enforcement Administration is warning parents about a deadly new danger to their children could face. According to Susan Gibson, special agent in charge of the DEA in New Jersey, Mexican drug cartels are now producing a specific type of fentanyl that's been dubbed rainbow fentanyl because it's designed to catch the attention of young people. They're basically taking fentanyl pills and they're making them multicolored so they look more like candy so they can attract more of a user base, focusing on the younger clientele, she said. So basically, if you look this up, they look just kind of like, they kind of look like vitamins, but also...
what are those candies called? The small...
Smarties.
Smarties. It looks like a ton of Smarties thrown on the ground.
They look like bad Smarties, I'd say.
Exactly.
So what I don't get is how the younger clientele would get their hands on it. I could see like in a school, kids are selling each other drugs. Like maybe in
this
high
is
school.
the rainbow stuff. You want to try this.
Yeah, like it looks like candy and that maybe makes people think it's harmless, but... Fentanyl is crazy stuff, man. It kills people all the time.
Yeah, I feel like all these drug overdoses you hear about now, like, or with normal drugs, like you just hear about fentanyl being laced into them.
Yeah.
It's scary, dude.
It's absolutely crazy.
You just don't know what you're taking.
We have a drug problem in America and in New Jersey as well. Like there's a lot of overdoses. And you said it, I think, a few weeks ago. We all know somebody that's overdosed.
It's a shame.
And it's just very, very sad. So this is good to be on the lookout for. Maybe if you're a parent and your kids, you're a part of your kid's life, they're in high school, maybe talk to them about it. I don't know. If you have that kind of relationship with your kid, maybe be invested and involved and let them know about the smarty-looking drugs.
And think about it. Like even parents who do drugs, and say they have little kids and they're very irresponsible. Imagine they leave this stuff on the counter. And a little kid sees it, and they're like, candy.
That's actually a really good point.
Because it's happening in households all over America.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people are addicted to pills, and if a little kid were to see this, it does look like candy, for sure.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I would in an instant, I would be like, oh, my gosh, I want that.
As opposed to your regular pill, which is white, or like...
that just looks like medicine to a
capsule.
Kid. Yeah.
So, it's good to be aware of, and... Gibson said, who I quoted before, she said, drug organizations are all about making as much money as possible, so they need to increase their client base. And one of their ways is to take the product and make it look attractive to younger people. The purpose is to attract new users every single day, and it's just disgusting. We gotta do something about these cartels, man.
Well, what's the average? Like, I feel like so many kids now are starting to take drugs younger and younger.
Yeah, I mean, want me to look up the average age?
Yeah, can you see if that's like given? You could do it in America. It doesn't have to be just Jersey. Because it's just bad everywhere.
Let's see if I can find it. Okay, so abuse treatment admissions aged 18 to 30, blah, 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 began their substance use at 17 or younger. So 10.2%. So this is talking about drug abusers in treatment programs, I believe. And it says 10.2% initiated use at the age of 11 or younger. Wow, that is heartbreaking.
11.
So yeah, this is a fair point. There are young people getting involved in drug use. And I mean...
Like, luckily, we, like us three at least, were raised in households where we were constantly like we're just very blessed. Like, we had parents who just don't do drugs first off, and they always taught us about like substance abuse and, you know, things not to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it says 90% of Americans who meet the clinical criteria for addiction started using substances before the age of 18. So, like many things, this is pretty interesting. I find it that that childhood and teenage years are pretty critical for how your life is gonna pan out, because habits, be it good or like positive or negative, I think this could apply to a lot of things, like even maybe eating habits, right? Like, you always hear people that struggle with overeating, and they say, you know, it was something that even when I was a kid, I struggled with it.
Yeah.
And I think this is like many things in life. It's when it starts when you're really young, like if you're 13 and I mean, these highly addictive drugs get involved in your life, then I don't know. It could set you up for a lifetime of pain, which is really sad. So this is good for people to know about, and this is why the Garden State podcast is hopefully helping somebody out there, because maybe someone could be more aware of this. And if you're a teenager watching us on TikTok, stay away from these stupid drugs.
This is what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Stay away from drugs in general. So the state of New Jersey, actually, NJ.gov, on their website, they have a number you can call if you're struggling with addiction, and it's 1-844-REACH-NJ. So that's 732-2465. You never know. It might be one person listening to this podcast that's struggling with some addiction and they need to get some help. This is why we have these hotlines. Today could be your day, right?
Go for it.
Moving on to our next story. With the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Ida, some New Jersey residents are still displaced from their homes.
How has it been 1 year? I feel like that was yesterday.
It went so... The past 3 years of life have just been like a movie.
Remember all like everything we were doing after Ida, like cleaning out people's basements, and that was just a crazy 2 weeks.
Well, Ida was a weird storm because some areas got absolutely demolished, and you took some drone footage, right, over Union County?
Yeah, I'll drop it in right here into the pod.
And then some areas got demolished, and then some areas didn't get hit at all. Like I live on an area that's on top of a hill, let's just say. Mm-hmm. And when my neighborhood the next day looked completely normal.
Yeah.
But then there were neighborhoods, 5-6 miles from me that were just in a lake.
Dude, the downtown area of my town just completely flooded. So many people's homes got wrecked. And what was crazy is they were just recovering still from Irene 10 years ago. And then Ida comes through randomly dumping, 8-9 inches within a matter of a few hours, and everyone's flooded again.
And we knew so many people who were stuck trying to get home, just like in the flood waters.
It was honestly the craziest. I almost got stuck, dude.
Yeah.
My dad lost his van, but that's another story. Yeah.
Rip.
No, I didn't know that.
Yep. So the article reads, 1 year after the remnants of Hurricane Ida flooded portions of New Jersey and touched off the state's strongest tornado in 31 years, Governor Phil Murphy marked the anniversary in a visit to Somerset County with a promise of more recovery funds to come. 30 people died due to Ida in New Jersey, many of them on flooded roads or in flooded apartments. More than $650 million in federal and state funds have been spent on Ida recovery and response so far. The federal government in May greenlighted $228 million in recovery block grants, and the state's plan for the funding must be finalized and submitted to the federal approval by late September. So what's happening now is Governor Phil Murphy is saying there are still lots of people that are not yet on their feet, and we know some of these programs, just the way they work, can be painful to work your way through. So Governor Murphy is acknowledging that these recovery programs can take time to go into effect, but he's saying he's going to stick with people until they get through it. So
I don't know though, because like I was reading so many articles about what's that spot in Elizabeth mentioned in the article?
Oakwood Plaza.
Yeah, so even like residents in Oakwood Plaza from Elizabeth, they said like they're not even back into their homes yet, and
It's crazy.
they're struggling to even make ends meet right now, paying rent where they're currently at, and it seems like a lot of people are still really hurting from Ida. Even
Yeah.
though like most of us have recovered, most of us forgot about it, there's still people out there hurting.
No, for sure. It's amazing that it's still happening. So it says there's 152 million in housing programs that help homeowners restore their storm damaged homes, supplement rental housing for the cost of low income rental families impacted by Hurricane Ida. So we'll see what happens with this. Hopefully people can get back into their homes.
So wait, like, are they doing something now?
So there is a recovery plan being proposed, and that would be to have $152 million go to housing programs that help homeowners restore their storm-damaged homes, supplement rental housing costs for low-income rental families impacted by Hurricane Ida, and to provide zero-interest forgivable loans to owners of rental properties that require rehabilitation as a result of storm damages. So the state is working to release this $152 million to these homeowners, hopefully sooner rather than later, though, right?
Yeah, like they talk about it. Like, is it actually going to happen? That's the biggest question. And that's what all these people who are still displaced are getting really upset about.
Yeah, the state takes time to get stuff done, and that's, I think, one of the main issues with government in general. It's like, It's a year later, man, we got 150 mil on deck. Like, let's just get it to the people that need it. But we'll see what happens there. And, man, for the people that are still struggling, that's pretty rough. One other thing Governor Murphy announced is the launch of disasterhelp.nj.gov, a new website on which people, businesses, and local governments can navigate federal and state recovery resources available in the aftermath of a storm. So you can go over there if you're still struggling from Ida, check it out.
Yeah, maybe this will help. Maybe it won't. I have no idea. I haven't checked out the website, so go check it out. We'll put these links in the bio. I know we're mentioning a lot in the podcast today. I'll make sure they're all down there so it's easy for you guys to get to.
Great. Moving on to the next story. One New Jersey teacher is coming under fire after posting provocative photos of herself in her classroom.
What?
Booty pics from the classroom, ladies and gentlemen.
The 39-year-old Pennsauken Elementary School art teacher, identified by the New York Post as Roxana Diaz, has more than 981,000 followers on Instagram, where she posts photos of herself in revealing and tight clothing. She made a 14-minute long video defending her clothing choices, and she also captioned another post, "Trying to body shame me because I am curvaceous is still discrimination."
Dude, you're posting booty pics in your classroom.
Yeah, someone said, you want someone teaching your children that will love... Oh, she said, actually, you want someone teaching your children that will love and protect them as if they were their own child. Blessed are the few, oh my goodness, that have educators involved in their children's life that want to instill knowledge, positivity, love, and wisdom. That's just nonsense. I'm sorry. Can we stop there for a second? Your job as a teacher, I don't think, is to protect kids. It's just to educate them. I don't need you to love my kid. Like, that just feels weird. Like this like weird blurring of lines between teachers and kids. You're a professional. You show up and you educate kids. Of course, you might have feelings of like, I love my students. I want to help them. But like, the language she's using here makes me feel a little bit weird. Like, you're not a parent. And if parents have an issue with something, then as a teacher, we should acknowledge that. So one person commented, this is an odd picture. You're in a classroom, which looks like it's for very young children, and you're taking a booty shot. So,
like, no one is body shaming you. Parents are concerned because you're just showing off your body and dressing inappropriately in front of these kids.
And she's playing victim in a way because she had another post talking through all the plastic surgery she got done and showing before before and after photos. So it's not like she was born. This feels like inappropriate to just say, but like, it wasn't like she was born with this figure she has now. She augmented her body to have this very curvy figure. So she's now playing victim for the plastic surgery she got done. Now, is is wearing an outfit. You know, I didn't know if the outfit she wore, you know, was inappropriate. It was like a long skirt, I guess, but the photo she posted is a little weird. It just kind of shows that she's, you know, what she's looking for.
Well, yeah, like the photo is fine, but it's like when I swipe, the second photo is like her body's turned and her butt is just facing the camera. It's like, and parents were even saying it's obviously you're taking a photo to showcase your butt and not take a normal photo of yourself.
I just think she's in the wrong career field. If, you know, there might be some employers that don't care. I think most employers should be like, okay, first off, stop taking selfies at work and putting them on social media for your 980,000 followers. That's a lot. That's a little bit weird. Like, I think that the line, again, talking about blurred lines, the line between like what's appropriate and inappropriate at work, has become so blurred because people are just, our generation's just so laid back. I feel like with stuff.
Yeah,
like the professionalism has decreased.
Well, yeah, and also a lot of people are getting scared that they don't want to offend everyone, like this lady. So they're starting to make things more relaxed. Like, that's all right, that's chill. But like, I went through this chick's Instagram for like a hot second.
Whoa!
I meant like really quick. Is that what that meant? And like, if I was in high school and she was like my teacher, dude, like she'd be fired in an instant.
You think?
I think so. Teachers would never be allowed to post that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the amazing things about when I was in high school was the mystique of teachers' lives. I knew nothing about my teachers' lives. I couldn't find them on social media. Be. I think teachers should be that way because it you know, creates a barrier between you and students having an inappropriate relationship, which by the way
happens all the time.
Happened when I was in high school with a female teacher and a student. Like, stuff happens where, you know, it shouldn't be a thing. So I think that's part of the job of being a teacher. I don't think it's fair to play victim card because parents are like, yo, you're teaching my kid and then taking pictures that are a little bit weird in the class. I don't know. So
listen, like, no offense, like to this lady, God bless her, but like if she was my kid's teacher right now, I would be on that group of parents complaining about it. I think so.
It just seems unprofessional, but this is the world. I mean, we'll get ripped apart in the comments from people being like, like all the 16-year-old guys in the comments are gonna be like, but that's just the internet right now. Yeah, everyone's gonna be commenting, what's the at?
We're not releasing it. You look up the article yourself.
Goodness.
It's a stupid story. Like, it's just crazy how she's just playing the victim card, like you said. Like, she made a 14-minute long video defending herself. It's just like, dude, just stop posting photos like that and you'll be fine. Just stop.
If you want to be an influencer and you have almost 1 million followers, you got to switch your line of work. You can't be a teacher anymore. That should just be a rule.
You will make enough money doing the influencing by yourself.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next thing because I'm done talking about this lady and her selfies. Are you done talking about it?
I'm done.
Okay, good. A magnitude 2.3 earthquake hit Morristown, New Jersey this past week. Did you hear about this?
I had zero idea this happened, dude.
You should throw in that picture of the chair.
Oh, yeah. The world famous earthquake chair from New Jersey.
It's just every time an earthquake hits, nothing happens, but we're told an earthquake hits.
Well, I wonder if people felt it in the area.
That's what I was just going to ask. Did you guys feel the earthquake like a few years ago? Or no? You never felt an earthquake? Really?
I would like to feel one. I mean, is that messed up to say?
It was such a cool experience. Yeah.
How did you feel it?
It was like my senior year of high school. It was the summer before, and an earthquake hit the area, and all of a sudden, everything in my house started shaking. Like, my mom has these bells like in our china closet, and all of them started like
that's a little creepy.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I was like, what's going on?
I remember that earthquake.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything though.
I was driving when it happened, so I didn't feel it. So I saw all the tweets and news articles, and I was like, I missed it.
Well, this article says a magnitude 2.3 earthquake struck parts of northern New Jersey Tuesday evening, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The small quake hit around 5:14 p.m. and lasted 30 seconds, according to the USGS official. So the entire event likely passed in less than a minute and struck less than 3 miles west of Morris Plains in Morris County and was about 3 miles below the ground. So the earthquake, this is interesting. It says it's very likely connected to the Ramapo fault line, which I didn't know there's a fault line.
Me neither, dude. That's so cool. Is that cool? I think that's cool.
I think it's pretty cool. It says it runs southwest to northeast through Morristown. Kind of scary though, right?
That's interesting.
Do earthquakes scare you guys?
Nope.
No.
If I lived in California and it was I had the threat of like the whole state falling into the ocean, yeah, maybe. But like in Jersey, like I feel like we're not in a threat for like a giant earthquake, right?
Is it? No, we're not, because I think we're not on a massive fault line. Like I think the San Andreas Fault is the one next to California.
Yep.
And that's like big enough where that's why they say California could fall into the ocean, because that's a massive. I forget the name of it. I remember I learned this in high school.
Me too. Yeah, I'm trying to remember all the terms.
Tectonic plates, right? Like the actual, that's like a massive fault line between two plates, I believe. I don't think the Ramapo fault line is. Let me look it up.
Well, the Ramapo, it sounds like a little baby fault line.
The Ramapo fault line. Let's get an image of what this thing looks like. Well, I want to see like the rock.
Well, isn't it all underground? Like, can you actually see it?
No, but they can. I think they can like map. Yeah, I guess.
Interesting.
So it looks like this. So the most hazardous fault lines are all along the West Coast. It looks like ours is pretty low hazard.
Oh, so wait, the area that actually got hit is in the yellow.
Or
is that?
I don't think so. I think that it would technically be in the green, but maybe it's right next to it.
Oh, wow.
So we're looking at a map right now from the USGS showing the fault lines in the USA.
Glad we don't live in California, dude. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty scary to live. Like, it's weird the Earth can just go, you know what? I'm going to have an earthquake right now.
Well,
and then
that's the thing. Like, what caused like this earthquake to happen in Jersey?
I guess these
random?
plates are under a ton of pressure and then they just move a little bit. Like, imagine a rock the size of, I don't know, the entire Northeast, all of New England, bigger than that. It's connected to that, I guess. And it just shifts just a little bit.
Well, that's the thing. Are the plates like always like moving like naturally with the Earth's flow, and it randomly just acts up one day? Like, I want to know what's pushing it, or like maybe I should know this. Maybe everyone listening is going to be like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about, and I don't, because I don't research earthquakes. I could tell you how it snows. I could tell you how it rains. I don't know how an earthquake just does its thing.
So weather.gov says that the plates are in constant motion. They can move at rates of up to 4 inches per year, which is obviously very small.
I knew it.
So I guess they're always moving. They're always adjusting and bouncing around. Maybe it's like a little bit more of a release. You know, like it just for whatever reason pops a little bit, and that causes these massive earthquakes.
But like, that's the thing. It's like, when's the last time an earthquake happened before this one? It was like years ago, right?
I don't think so. I think they happen like somewhat frequently.
Well, are you asking in New Jersey or anywhere?
New Jersey.
I think that, yeah, they happen somewhat frequently. It just, they're so small that they don't make news.
Wow.
Let's
Interesting.
see.
So I guess a 2.3 is considered big for Jersey.
No, I think that's still decently small. I think the one that we had a few years ago was bigger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at all these earthquakes. They hit all the time across the Northeast. Jersey's had a ton of them. They're just very, very small. Number of earthquakes felt is 98. So 98 earthquakes have been felt between 1738 and 2016.
1738.
Yeah, Fetty Wap, probably a big part of that, right?
They're 98. Interesting. Whoa.
Yeah, so years with damaging earthquakes, 1884 was a bad year for New Jersey.
What was that earthquake? Does it say the magnitude?
You don't know about the earthquake of 84?
No, I don't.
The NJ earthquake, 1884. Let's pull that up and see what's going on.
The earthquake of 18? Is this a news article we're covering?
Yeah, it says the earthquake. The shock as felt in this city and its effects. This is a newspaper clipping. It was reportedly 5.8 to 5.9
That's huge.
magnitude. Oh, no. New York has never suffered severely from the effects of an earthquake. Most recently, the one felt in 2011 was 5.8 or 5.9. Excuse me.
There you go, Jimmy.
So let me go a little bit lower. For New Yorkers living in 1884 would have ever experienced an earthquake in an American city, some ran to their windows. It doesn't say what the I guess maybe they didn't have the Richter scale.
Yeah, they probably couldn't measure it back then.
Yeah, the Richter scale was invented in 1935, so it looks like it was bad.
Like, were things damaged? Does it say?
Just that everyone felt it. City Hall was damaged. Homes on the Lower East Side of Manhattan were damaged.
Wow.
They probably thought the earth was ending or something. Back then, you know, no phones, no social media, no TV. 1884, dude.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
It's interesting. This article gets really into it. It says, rumors spread. Some thought the West Side gasworks on 14th Street had exploded, while others circulated that dynamite had gone off in the Hellgate. I don't know what the Hellgate was. So people, you know, even back then, rumors were spreading.
I wonder, so Hell's Gate, that's the bridge.
Hell's Gate Bridge?
Yeah.
Which one's that again?
And then I think there's a Hell's Gate tunnel too. It goes,
East River.
It's by Queens somewhere.
Yeah, it's East River in New York. It goes from Randall's Island, basically into Astoria.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
Well, also, you don't hear about New York earthquakes. I feel like all you hear about is New Jersey earthquakes. Like,
my
when's the last time
goodness.
an earthquake hit the city?
well, if an earthquake hit New York,
That'd be bad.
those buildings would start shaking.
Well, aren't they built for that anyway? They
Yes.
say.
Well, for wind, they're built for that, but not for an earthquake. I mean, have you ever been in one when they start moving a little bit?
Yeah, so you feel it, bro.
I was in a building one time in Midtown during a pretty heavy windstorm, and you could hear the steel beams creaking, and it was
Yeah, it's
pretty,
weird.
pretty creepy.
I worked in the city for like 2.5 years, and like we were just on the 22nd floor, but there were days, bro, where like I would be standing there and automatically feel like I'm spinning. I'm just like, wait, the building's
man.
moving. It's cool. It's pretty cool how like architecture works like that.
Well, we're gonna have a phone call a bit later with a resident of Morristown, New Jersey. Maybe we can get some on the scene reporting of what the Morristown quake of 22 was like.
Good times. Good times.
Moving on, in Edison, New Jersey, 2 people and 1 pet turtle are reporting injuries after a hit and run.
No. Is the turtle all right?
I don't know.
You know, people are gonna recover.
It does not say.
But the turtles, man, the turtles are already suffering enough with all the plastic in the ocean. What now? A hit and run?
Jeez.
It says on Sunday around 7:38 p.m., a man driving a green BMW lost control of his car and went to the curb, striking 2 people. The deputy police chief, Robert Dudash, said the incident occurred outside of the New Jersey Convention Center after a car show. A 49-year-old South Plainfield resident suffered head injuries and was taken to Robert Wood Johnson Hospital in New Brunswick for treatment. He was released at 2 a.m. on Monday, authorities said. The second person, a 20-year-old West Orange resident, suffered a leg injury but refused medical assistance at the scene. Police said he later went to the hospital and was released. The 20-year-old, here's where it gets interesting. The 20-year-old man had a pet turtle with him during the time of the crash. The turtle was injured and is currently at the Edison Animal Shelter.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's not good, dude.
the man, I guess his leg was okay. The man with the head injury was okay, but this turtle, which, by the way, turtles have a shell, so you'd think him of all people, he would have been prepped for
It's
this.
like a permanent helmet they're always wearing.
Yeah, and he's in the hospital getting bandaged up. So prayers out to this little turtle, man. I hope he makes a speedy, I don't mean the pun intended there because he's a turtle, but I hope he makes a speedy recovery.
Why were these people walking around or driving with a turtle? First off, do people do that? Turtle owners?
No, a 20-year-old man was walking with his turtle.
Okay. I'm not here to I'm not here to judge.
Yeah.
Why are you outside walking with a turtle?
It's like walking your dog.
No, it's not.
Same thing. Got a leash.
People do not leash their turtles, Jimmy. Yeah, because they're so fast and they can run away from you.
Well,
it is interesting. Like, why was this dude outside with his turtle?
there are some pretty quick turtles.
That's true.
There are some pretty speedy little guys.
Do people own those turtles? Aren't those like snapping
I
turtles?
was going to say, you ever see a snapping turtle?
Well, that's scary because they could just chomp your finger off. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this turtle. I wish it said the turtle's name so we could be more specific. But the driver of the BMW was identified as Darius Gomez, who later went on Instagram, posted an apology for the crash, saying he plans to turn himself in. So,
and then the
but
next
it
sentence,
says Gomez is yet to turn himself in.
you probably felt bad about the turtle. Like, yeah, I hit these people, but the turtle, I'm so sorry. I'm going to turn myself in, and he has not turned himself in yet.
Justice for this turtle, am I right?
Bro, what?
Hey, at least he apologized on Instagram. That's all that really matters in life.
To be honest, an Instagram apology is basically a prison sentence.
The
That's the
dude
point.
left a car show and hit 2 people and a turtle and ran.
And the turtle is still in the animal hospital.
That's the saddest. That's the worst part. The humans, they recovered, but the turtle, he might not make it.
You don't get a new shell. That's all I'm saying.
That speaks volumes, Jim. That speaks volumes. So prayers up for this turtle.
Yeah,
that's
man.
just a terrible, terrible situation as New Jersey.
He needs a miracle for sure. But the Edison Animal Shelter is probably the place to be if you're in Edison and you get hit by a car and you're a turtle.
All right, let's move on.
The next story is pretty serious, and I shouldn't have lined these up like this. I always do this. I go from like really silly to really serious.
You did it again.
So I don't want to enter this next one lightly because it is pretty heavy.
I'm like still smiling. Hold on.
I know, because the TikTok clips, we can sometimes go from a funny story to a really sad one.
And people are like, why are you guys smiling?
Why are you smiling? And it's like, oh, because we just talked about a turtle that got hit by a car.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, the news in Jersey is like all over the place. We have to report it all. So,
All right, so let's think about something serious.
what were you thinking about?
I don't want to say it out loud because it's pretty dark.
Is it dark? Because then don't say it. I was thinking about Hurricane Ida.
No, I was thinking about the death of of a family member.
Oh, dude. Why are you're laughing
You okay?
again?
It's not funny. See, like, it's not funny, but now that you put me on the spot, it just shows how dark our minds are.
I'm sorry to hear about
It's
Like,
that.
I was
It's
trying to
the
think of
human
something
brain.
like, what's something really dark that doesn't make me smile? Just shows how much I love my family.
Spotted lanternflies, dude, killing everything.
I stepped on one today, actually.
My dad
Very
was
good.
hunting them in the yard the other day. My dad showed me this one vine covered in them. Completely different story, but it's bad.
You
It's
know what
really
you
bad
gotta do
right now.
is you get a water bottle, you cut the top off, and you just put it over them, and they jump into it,
And then what do you do?
and you just keep going with it. Like, they don't know how to get out once they're in.
Really?
I saw a lady on TikTok with like a whole Poland Spring bottle full of them.
Can't you shoot them with
Good
like
to know.
vinegar and stuff too, and that kills them?
I heard that, yes, that does supposedly work, but I prefer the water bottle method because then you fill it with gasoline and light it on fire.
Oh,
And it just sends a message to them.
yeah, I would say
We should
so.
do this for the talk.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next story. In Franklin, New Jersey, an investigation has begun after a 2-year-old child died in a hot car.
You would think people would use their brains sometime and not leave a child in a hot car.
Yeah,
There's
and
always a story like this, dude.
it doesn't make sense because the investigation part, what is there to really investigate?
Well,
a
what I-
two-year-old child isn't old enough to make the decision about being in a car or not in a car. Like, it's pretty clear cut.
And like we're gonna read the article, but like apparently like the mom passed out when she found out her baby was dead. Like, did she forget her child in the car? It's weird, dude. It's weird.
That's why people shouldn't have kids.
It says officials have confirmed that a 2-year-old girl who died Tuesday had been left in a hot car, and investigators are still trying to figure out how it happened. According to the Somerset County Prosecutor's Office, Franklin police received a report of a child in cardiac arrest at 2:21 p.m. at a home on Summerall Road. The call came over the fire radio. Officials did not say who found the child. However, prosecutors said the neighbor was performing CPR on the child when the police arrived on the scene. The neighbor was a member of the local fire department. Man, that's really dark. It says police followed by medical responders from Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital attempted life-saving measures on the girl soon after the child was pronounced dead, according to prosecutors.
Oh man.
So it says further investigation is ongoing to determine the exact length of the time the child was in the vehicle and the circumstances surrounding the events leading to the incident. Somerset County Prosecutor John McDonald said in a written statement. So they're now beginning an investigation. I don't know where you read the thing, Josh, about the mother, because I didn't see that in this particular article.
Yeah, I was looking around. I think I was looking into this story. It wasn't in this one.
It says no charges have been filed, so I'm interested to see. This is definitely negligence on the parents' part,
100%.
but like here's the thing: is like I don't know the parent, like I don't know their situation.
Wait,
And-
go back to that one.
And you gotta, in a way, you gotta feel bad. You gotta feel horrible for the parent of this child because it doesn't sound like there was malicious, intent. Something went wrong.
Yeah, but still, at the same time, like common sense.
And like what you were saying earlier, Josh, like why is there even an investigation? A 2-year-old doesn't put itself in a car seat and lock the doors. Who's driving that car?
NBC New York cited unnamed sources, and they reported that the 2-year-old had been left alone for several hours in the car.
Dude, hours. What?
So I'm not a parent yet, and I wonder, like, is this the type of thing where you think you put your kid down for a nap?
Yeah, what?
Like,
How do you forget?
Maybe we need some parents to, talk to us about this one. Like, can you make that mistake? That doesn't seem reasonable to me.
Yeah, like it's so easy for us to be like, a parent, like we would never do that, but like we're not parents. Someone's not a parent yet. So we're not here to just, put blame on anyone, but come on, how do you forget your kid in the car? It's pretty like
No,
simple.
I mean, it's pretty horrible. And I don't know. It sounded like, based on what you read, the mother was in distress when she came out. But it's just tragic all around.
Yeah,
Because something went wrong. And this lady, if she wasn't trying to kill her kid, right, which it sounds like she wasn't, but who knows? That's for the judge to figure out. But
what were they doing for the 2 hours without their kid?
Who knows? And
it's very weird. And there's no official, there's no good way to end a story like this. Obviously, someone's going to get charged. Most likely the mother or whoever was watching the child at the time. But it sounds like the mother was home. So
yeah, it's she absolutely, because the car was there. So like something went terribly wrong here, and maybe she'll go to jail. I think she'll go to jail regardless, because I think that would be manslaughter if anything, right? Leaving your kid, it's a minor. You left him in the car.
I'm just thinking like this whole heat wave we've been experiencing, like the past month and a half. Like my car doesn't have good AC. So when I'm driving, dude, like I am burning up. Like it gets hot so quickly.
Yeah.
So you just think about a car just sitting there off, how quickly it must get hot with the sun just beaming in with these hot days. It's so dark to even think about. It's so sad. And prayers up to this family, and you just hope for the best.
My brain goes both ways. My brain goes on one side, this person was was being malicious, and then the other side, I'm like, what if she carried in groceries, and then like I got a phone call when she walked in the house, and there was, I don't know, like what if that happened, and then she just, which is
still wrong, but yeah, you have to feel for them.
Absolutely still wrong, and I'm like, can that happen as a parent? Like I feel like the moms that are listening to this would be like, no shot.
Yeah, my mom would be like, never. That's how she would say it.
Who knows? But the prosecutors will get to the bottom of it, and someone's going to be held accountable, probably the mother.
100%.
So our next story comes out of Garden State Plaza Mall.
The Garden State Plaza Mall.
Maybe the best mall because of its name.
I love that name.
Me too.
It's a cool name.
A Garden State Plaza Mall redevelopment plan is reportedly set to include 550 apartments.
The luxury apartment takeover in Jersey will never end.
Yeah. What is going on with these apartments everywhere, and why is the state not stopping Apartment Palooza?
Indeed.
Because they started it with the Mount Laurel decision.
Yes, the Mount Laurel decision. If you are a New Jersey resident, you should look up the Mount Laurel decision and just read it, because...
Wasn't that for like affordable housing though?
It has something to do with affordable housing. I think it has to do with like so much percentage of new apartments have to be affordable, but I think it gives them an excuse to build these buildings.
Yeah, I think that's what we talked about that last time. Is like, as these buildings go in, it goes in under the guise of like, we're trying to provide affordable housing. But you look at these in Union County, if you drive up North Avenue, you see Cranford, Westfield, all these, upper middle class towns. Man. I don't know if that's even, I don't even know what the middle class is anymore in New Jersey. It's just so ridiculous. But you look at these apartment buildings, they're all very beautiful luxury apartments everywhere. And meanwhile...
But a percentage of them are apparently affordable.
Not for me. They're not.
Or were you saying meanwhile what?
And meanwhile, I mean, you can't buy a house because they're not building new houses. They're building apartments everywhere.
Yeah, and like since these 550 luxury apartments are going to be within like the Garden State Plaza development, it looks like they're making like a whole like little town there, and I'm so scared to see how much these are going to cost. It's going to be like $3,000, $4,000 monthly for like a one bedroom at least.
Yeah, so I have a lot of words here I'm going to read to you. That's going to sum up.
Fill us with the knowledge. Give us the story, Josh. Tell us about it.
It says the Garden State Plaza is going to be transformed from its current state as a retail shopping outlet to a mixed-use complex, including 550 luxury apartments via a 1-acre town green for residents, visitors, and shoppers, as well as a Main Street outdoor district featuring restaurants and everyday conveniences and services.
Wow.
So they're trying to go all in on this. Unibale Rodamco Westfield has partnered with Mill Creek Residential. So I guess Westfield Malls is not just called Westfield Mall. It's like all these 3 words in a row. But they've partnered with Mill Creek Residential on the Westfield Garden State Plaza development, a new 2.1 million square foot flagship destination anchored by Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, Macy's, and AMC theaters. So the partnership will allow companies to launch the first phase of URW's 30-acre mixed-use vision for the property, featuring residences, green spaces, and restored Sprout Brook.
What the heck is a Sprout Brook?
A restored Sprout Brook.
What is that? Like Are we talking an actual brook here, like water?
There's a sprout brook running through Paramus.
The heck is a sprout brook?
It looks like a small stream. I guess a sprout brook is
interesting. Cool.
It's anticipated to break ground in 2024 and slated to open to residents in 2026. So we're a bit ways off from this, about 4 years. But 550 luxury apartments next to that mall. Route 17 is about to be a nightmare.
Oh, bro, it's already a nightmare. And like even like on the weekends or holidays, getting into that mall off Route 17, the traffic is unbearable.
Yep.
It's a nightmare, dude. And this just sounds, I don't even know what it's going to look like. It looks cool. It looks like it's going to be really, really nice once you're in there, but they're going to have to figure out a way to fix Route 17 and that parking lot to be able to bring in more people because that parking lot gets packed so quick.
Yeah, and this, again, goes back to what we started with, which is there are too many apartments going up in New Jersey. Everywhere we look, it's like the apartment palooza. And one story we read actually this week was about Morristown now building apartments onto residential spaces.
Everywhere in Morristown, bro. Like, we have friends who live in Morristown. They're like, dude, apartments are going up everywhere.
Everywhere. And we actually had someone that wanted to call in tonight.
I think one of our listeners from Morristown was like, I got to talk about the apartments going up. So
Father Aiden from the Discord actually mentioned he wants to call in and talk to us about the apartments. So Aiden's been a longtime listener, longtime member of the Discord, and he's always sending weather reports in our Discord, which is amazing. So
he's actually, we turned him into the official meteorologist.
Yeah, he is our meteorologist, and he also deep fries memes for us, which is, or just photos in general.
So good. Yeah, all you do is post a photo in our Discord, and Aiden will deep fry it for you.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what deep frying is, just search deep fried photo, and you'll see what it looks like. I don't even know how to describe a deep fried photo. You just fry it.
I mean, it's just as like highly edited and pixeled, and we sound like boomers right now.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, this is embarrassing that we're even like trying to explain this. But yeah, he deep fries photos. Let's see if he's ready to call in.
Is this Father Aiden?
This is he.
Wow. Hey.
Here by popular demand.
Wow. Well, listen, man, this has been, I feel like, a long awaited, it's kind of been a love affair from afar because, you know, we see your deep fried photos. We see, you know, the weather maps you provide for the people of New Jersey, and you're just a public servant, and we admire you greatly. And it's an honor that you're on the pod tonight.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So we've been talking tonight about apartments going up everywhere in New Jersey. Garden State Plaza, I don't know if you heard the news. They just launched some news that 550 apartments are getting put into the mall up there. And now what we're hearing is that Morristown has been building apartments nonstop. Is that correct?
Yeah, Morristown's going nuts. You know, I just saw something the other day that I don't know how familiar you guys are with Morristown, but
we know it pretty well.
23 South Street. There's like a little gift shop, like store thing there. It's right off the green, so that's where all the bars are and whatnot. But you know, looks like they're going to be like tearing everything up and putting up a new building with a ton of apartments and whatnot. Yeah, the new thing right now is the M Station. Deloitte came in, and it's like I don't know what the like proper zoning like term is. I think it's flex or whatever, but it's like residential and commercial and retail and whatnot. So that's like right by Morristown's train station. That's like a huge complex that's gone in. You know, it's got like a parking garage and all, but.
And as a Morristown resident, how do you feel about this? Are you stoked about it? Like, are you mad?
Well, so I think it's like a double-edged sword. Like, I can appreciate a town that is like constantly looking for things to do, and I'm sure it's not like, you know, I hesitate to say this, but I'm sure it's not all in good faith. I'm sure someone's pockets are getting lined.
Yeah, that's Jersey, but that is classic Jersey. That nothing's in good faith. And I can guarantee you someone's pockets are most certainly getting lined. But continue. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're good. But then, you talk to somebody that's been living in Morristown like 30 years or so, and they're livid about it. And I can understand why. Like, you know, Morristown's an old town. It doesn't have like the road infrastructure for, you know, doubling the population. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but you know, you understand what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. Yeah. I grew up in Cranford, and Cranford has a slogan, "Keep Cranford Quaint," because the people protested when they tried to put a Starbucks in. And it's just these old Jersey towns that you're right. They don't have the infrastructure to handle all these new apartments. Tons of people moving in. And, Aiden, I have to ask you a question. What are the odds on a Friday night if I catch you at the Game Vault across the street from that 28 South Street boutique you were talking about? You ever been to the Game Vault?
I haven't, but I was eyeing it up recently. And, I think every passing day, the odds get greater and greater.
Oh, wow.
Something about it that is just enticing me.
Josh, have you been there?
Yeah, we went together.
I was about to ask, did you go with me that one time?
We went one time with our good friend Joey Gatto, who's from Morristown. And I haven't been to Morristown in a bit. It's been probably, I was there. I was at the Jockey Hollow. You ever go there, Aiden, Jockey Hollow?
I haven't been there. I've been meaning to go because, I probably shouldn't say this, but I live right near it.
Nice.
Well, we're actually tracking your IP address right now.
Oh, no.
No, but Aiden, great spot, Jockey Hollow for the listeners. I would highly recommend. Aiden, I know you're the type of guy that on a Friday night you probably got a date. You got to stop by Jockey Hollow with your lady, my man.
Yeah, no, it always looks like a good time. I've seen people I know going in there, and I've walked around. It does weird me out because I grew up in Morristown.
Yeah.
And back in 2007 we moved. But before we moved, that was always just an abandoned building. I don't know if you knew that.
Really?
Yeah, that used to be the old town hall for Morristown.
Wow.
And then it moved to a different building. I forget where. But it just sat there abandoned, and probably 10 years ago at this point, they added those wings, and now it is what it is.
What is the Jockey Hollow? Can you guys explain to me?
It's like a big fancy restaurant. I went for a rehearsal dinner last October, I think, and it was beautiful. It has the place. It has the big pond in front of it that looks like
it looks like a government building.
Yeah, it has the long rectangular pond, kind of like the reflecting pond in DC.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a restaurant. Cool.
It's a very, very nice restaurant. And so I don't know, but it's interesting to see all these apartments going up everywhere. And it's not just Morristown. It's I'm sure it's all across Morris County. It's all across Union County, Bergen County. And what I'm wondering is, will the state ever just tell people to cut it out? Or are we just going to be overrun with apartments in, the coming years? I don't know. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I can't imagine, like I said earlier, and you agreed with, that someone's pockets are getting lined. As long as there's money to be made, I don't think they're stopping.
No shot.
Yeah, and that's, so we talked earlier about the Mount Laurel decision, which was the Supreme Court of New Jersey, I believe that's what it's referred to as, in the 70s made a decision that every apartment building has to have a certain number of low-income properties within it. And I think oftentimes what happens in these suburban towns is it's good intention on the part of probably the town people, hey, we can help some people out. But I think the developers do not care at all. And there's some state officials, if I had to guess, there's some people at the state level that are making some great money, allowing these developers to build absolutely everywhere. Now, it sounds like the 23 South Street situation you mentioned, that little gift shop, it was one individual, this guy who's been trying for years, based on the article I read, he's been trying to get that to change for a while. So I guess it's not as much that situation as it is the big buildings we see everywhere. But nonetheless, it's happening everywhere we look, and it's not making it cheaper to live in New Jersey, I don't think.
No, I know for a fact that I have a pretty decent rent, but I'm looking to leave Morristown. It's just absolutely getting ridiculous. You're talking upwards of a couple grand to live in Morristown these days.
Yeah. Easy.
If you want to get an apartment on the Green, forget about it.
Yeah, the Green. Did you ever see our video on the Green talking about the history of it?
Yeah, that hanging or
they used to
whatever.
They used to put people to death on the Green, and I found that out, and it's so weird because when you go there, it's so peaceful. But I don't know, just a fun Morristown fact, I guess.
Yeah, Morristown's interesting. Depending on the era that you're talking, if you're talking about the 70s and 80s, that wasn't that great of a town. That's when my parents moved in, and there was nothing desirable going on.
Aiden, let me ask you really quickly before we let you go. Tell us about the new Circle in downtown. I saw a lot of controversy about it. Is it any good or no?
So now that I've lived with it for a little bit, I like it. But
It's
it is
working?
definitely a point of contention. It is a point of contention with the citizens. Some people are stubborn and just think that they have the right of way regardless, whether it's pedestrians or cars or otherwise.
Yeah.
So, it does get a bit frustrating when you're in the circle and people just start doing what they want. But, as with anything, it's a learning curve.
If the listeners, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Morristown a few months ago just opened up there's this 3-way intersection and they turned it into a circle right near downtown Morristown, I guess, to help the traffic flow. Would you say that, Aiden, would you say that it's helping the traffic flow or it made it worse?
I think that now that people are getting used to it, yeah, because, it used to be just like a normal intersection with a light.
Yeah, we got it on maps right now.
Yeah, it's Morrison Spring Street. So, but now that you can just go through it, I drove through it, maybe an hour ago. Now you can just go into it. I think it's fine. I'm curious to see how it stacks up. Because you said it a couple of months ago, it hasn't even been all that long.
It's new.
It didn't face the dead of the summer when people are out walking around. So I'm curious what heavy foot traffic is going to do to it.
I haven't been since the circle.
Yeah, we gotta
but
go
I
check it
remember
out.
that grilled cheese place is pretty. At least it was decent about 10 years ago when I went there. But maybe
It's still not bad.
the Morristown Diner, though, I don't know. Might have to stop by.
Yeah,
for
we got to
review.
do a review there. Special guest Aiden.
Yeah, I would love that.
That'd be cool.
Funny quick aside, former Governor Chris Christie, he's a Morristown native, or not native, he's from Livingston, but he lives in Morristown. He loves Morristown Diner.
Dude, my dad ran into Chris Christie at the Westfield Diner.
Yikes, not loyal to his diners.
Man, this guy's hitting I heard he loves the Summit Diner too. So Chris Christie, man, true-blooded Jersey resident.
He's a big boy. He likes his diner.
Hey, maybe we'll see him if we go. Or let's invite him.
Okay, so for real though, we got to go do a review of the Morristown Diner. Aiden, we'll DM you. You got to come with us, and dinner's on us. We'll go sometime soon, all right?
All right, I'm on it.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for calling in. Thanks for your on-the-scene reporting for us. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right. Hey, have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Aiden, man, what a legend.
What a ledge. Local ledge, man.
It's funny when you meet people on the internet and we've barely talked to Aiden. We talked to him on Discord and we're always joking. I'm always sending him photos of deep fry, but really, really nice guy.
Yeah, awesome guy. I didn't realize he was in Morristown. Now that we have his actual location, we can begin releasing that to the listeners.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're gonna just leak everything.
We actually
you got his social security too and everything from that call.
We need to stop by. Maybe we'll bring him some merch. Go stop by the diner with him. And
we've gotten requests to do the Morristown Diner, so we have to hit it.
He has been a day one. He was in the Discord when we had no followers. I feel like
day one, he's been loyal. So
and now that TikTok's growing, it's cool to see that he's still in there repping the Garden State. So shout out to Aiden.
And if you guys didn't know, we do have a Discord. The Garden State has a Discord. So link in our bio and our link tree. Go join the Discord, join the conversation. Go say what up to Aiden. If you need a weather report on the spot for New Jersey, if you're traveling somewhere and you want to know the weather, just hit up Aiden, our official meteorologist, and he'll tell you what's going on in the great state of New Jersey.
Absolutely. And with that was our last story of the night.
These podcasts really do fly, dude.
Yeah, they can fly. They got wings. And before we let people go, I want to remind them we do still have some merch in stock. Hats, Diner Club shirts. Get one before they're gone. We will be restocking probably, I don't know, within a month, a few weeks to a month. I don't know what the actual timeline is.
Yeah,
but we're trying to get them in, but if you haven't gotten this round, you still got a chance. You can go grab one, gift it to a friend, gift it to a family member, do something with it. But thank you again for supporting the pod and buying some merch. Any closing thoughts from the fellas?
Yeah, Jimmy was talking some trash earlier about my car. What were you going to tell me?
I was in Josh's car the other day. Literally everything on the dashboard's lighting up. I look at his tires. There's no tread on them. How is this thing still on the road?
Okay, never mind. I thought you had something interesting to say.
Inspection
You've said this
sticker.
before.
The inspection sticker was done in 2020.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been out too much. It's COVID, dude.
What do you mean you haven't been out too much? It's
COVID. You can't make it to that DMV in time. I'll get it done. Cops don't care. Josh, did you just be real live on the podcast?
Yeah, I was just be reeling.
Wait, it gave you the notification to go now?
I'm being real. Yeah, I was a little bit late on it. It went off 10 minutes ago while Father Eden was on the phone.
Oh, snap. That's awesome.
So, but I like that app. It's kind of fun. But with that, that's all I really had. I know about Josh's car. It has a lot of problems.
Yeah, I thought he had something interesting to share. It's been said before. Nothing
Jimmy,
new.
I would agree, Jimmy. His dash looks like a Christmas tree with the lights going off. But that's our Josh Chomick.
Who doesn't love a Christmas tree? Am I right?
Fair point. I would say those that don't celebrate Christmas. How insensitive of you.
Forgive me. What do you want me to say to that?
Not forgiven.
What do you want me to say?
I want you to say sorry to the people.
To who? I didn't offend you. You were the one who said it.
Brother, I'm speaking on behalf of those that don't have a voice right now on this podcast.
Okay.
Those that celebrate Hanukkah.
If people realized how
Mark
much I
Kwanzaa.
put into my Jeep and how much love and support, they would appreciate all the Christmas tree lights popping up on the dash. It's not. There's nothing wrong with the Jeep. It's a sensor issue. I'm sorry.
Sensor issue.
The car's not in 4-wheel drive, but it says it's in 4-wheel drive. The check engine light's not actually on. It's not telling me to check the engine, but the light's on because the sensors went off. The horn doesn't work. That's a whole nother issue, but it's not bad, guys.
Shouldn't even be on the road.
I think we should gift your Jeep to Father Aiden.
Yes.
Why would
yes.
I would never do that to him? It's in not good shape, bro. Only I can handle the car.
You just said it's just a sensor issue.
Because I know how to
brother.
handle it. If I can't just give that to someone, it's a death trap, dude, to be honest. But I'm the only one who knows how to control it. It's like a wild beast that I know how to tame.
Okay. I respect that. So you are the trainer.
Yeah, I almost got pulled over the other day. Dude tailed me, bro.
Why?
I don't know.
Probably illegal
Tailed me.
tents.
Yeah, I don't know. My Jeep looks like there's like on the back door, it's like rusting. So there's like holes in my Jeep. I have tints. It was early in the
bad.
morning. It was still dark. So he's like, oh, let me check the plates on this. Let me see what this guy's up to. And I got a clean record. So he didn't pull me over. So let's go, boys. Let's go. It's Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day week.
Well, when they're listening to this, it's not, but we're recording this on Monday. So
Yes.
we hope everyone had a great Labor Day.
And with that, have an amazing weekend as well. It's Friday, and we're going into the weekend.
And we got some rain. So that's
Yeah.
good. That's always a good thing.
A little better than nothing.
We got to get out of this drought. So we're slowly getting there.
A little bit at a time.
Slowly getting there.
And with that, thank you all for listening, and have an amazing week. We'll talk to you next Friday.
See you later, guys. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
You're watching The Garden State. The Dirty Jers.